Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Friday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report. I'm your host, Sam Woo. As we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios here in beautiful New Jersey. Having a little technical difficulty, but that's okay. It's the Woo Report. We're allowed to make mistakes. And I'm already seeing some of the comments on our YouTube live channel, on our Facebook channel, at Let's Go Devils Podcast, on Twitter, at Let's Go Devils Pod, and our YouTube channel, Let's Go Devils. So the Devils roster is now down to 26. 26 players. Some players did not make the cut, but will be sure to be back in a Devils uniform, you would assume. But there were a couple surprises, but mostly expected. Going down to Utica, as expected, Graham Clark, Nolan Foote, Hallinan, and Arne Talavidi. Defensemen Riley Walsh and Nikita Hoytuk. Goaltenders Nico Dawes and Akira Schmid. All going down to the AHL. On waivers, Andreas Johnsson, which is a big surprise. And is it Pinto that also went down on waivers as well? So the Devils are down to a roster of 26 players. Final cuts are going to be made and announced by 5 p.m. Monday, which I believe is Columbus Day. This upcoming Monday. And then you will have your Devils roster for the upcoming NHL 2022-23 season. Now, some of you have been tweeting at me about the football calls. Johnsson being gone. Is he really going to be gone? He's probably good as gone. We'll find out tomorrow if he cleared waivers. I did get a tweet. One last football call. As you know, the inside joke on this podcast is Andreas Johnsson, is Andre Johnson of the Houston Texans. Look at the football jersey that still hangs at my studio. Andre Johnson. Oh, my goodness, doesn't think he's going to get picked up. Joseph says Johnson's going to get picked up. Probably will get picked up. But you know what? Let's see what happens. Will he get picked up? Which teams would be desperate to pick up Andreas Johnsson? And, you know, he didn't particularly had a good camp so far. But some players really didn't really impress. Some players still need to get some time in and work on their game at the AHL level with the Utica Comets. Oh, my goodness, says maybe Chicago. Arizona, LOL, says Joseph. Who knows? But do you guys want to hear one final Andreas Johnsson, also known as Andre Johnson, call? But if he is not a New Jersey Devil, I can tell you that we'll have to go to John Marino for the football calls on Devils After Dark. Again, just a little inside joke amongst the podcast, but the Devils trimming their roster. Looks like Zetterlund and Holtz will make the team. It's looking like that right now. 26. Down to 26. Got to get to 23. Will Mikey McLeod be sent down to Utica? After all, there's a lot of off-the-ice issues surrounding Mikey McLeod not taking a position, but the fact remains that it's still pending, and the Devils really never addressed it along with Mikey McLeod as they're hiding behind the ongoing investigation. That's fine for now, but will he make the team? Eric Holla, well, he seems like to be the face-off guy for the New Jersey Devils, taking big face-offs, winning a lot of face-offs so far preseason, usually has a higher percentage of winning face-offs, around 55%, I believe, for his career. Alexander Holtz admitting that he needs to score. He needs to get results. He knows why he's on this team. He's here to score. I was kind of bummed that Graham Clark didn't make the cut. I thought that Graham Clark, could make this team, but again, maybe needs some time in Utica to work on his game. Boquist, Scotty, a SiriusXM Liquid Metal, and I were talking about Jesper Boquist, and, he really hasn't shown much this training camp. We had high hopes for him as he finished the season strong, but last night's game against the Islanders, the Devils, a lot of those players on the ice didn't really play inspired hockey whatsoever. And that's important. If your job's on the line and you're on the bubble, I would be skating 120% out on the ice, trying to make one last good impression. And a lot of these players didn't. And you know what? They're being sent down, with the exception of Graham Clark. I think he's had a very good camp. I think he could be an Alexander Holtz. He can score. He has a knack of scoring, but he needs to develop his overall game like Alexander Holtz, who took the advice of his exit meetings very seriously. Oh my goodness, says Thompson, Geertsen, Nemitz are the most likely cuts. You could be right. But you got to trim the roster down to 23. But I think we all know who's going to be on the roster. Obviously, Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. Whether Nico Hischier is available opening day, we don't know, or at least nothing official. I'm assuming that he's going to be there. Jesper Bratt obviously has made the team. Palat, you don't sign a guy for that many years and that kind of money if he didn't make the team, because if that happened, that's kind of pathetic. Or really pathetic. Dawson Mercer, Howla, Miles Wood, Dougie Hamilton, Siegenthaler, Damon Severson, Brendan Smith, who I like, John Marino, Mac Black, Mackenzie Blackwood, Vitek Vanacek. Oh, yeah, talk about yesterday's goaltending. I understand the first goal going in when Barzal had a wide open net. He was wide open. But it seemed like Mackenzie Blackwood didn't really recover. And again, I don't want to put so much emphasis on one preseason game. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, it is Vitek Vanacek's position to lose at this point. He's been the most consistent between the two. And against Boston, let's just hope that he is sharp and he finishes the preseason like how he started it. And I think Vanacek will be the opening night starter. My opinion, of course. Want to hear your opinion. But Ruff, according to Oh My Goodness, Ruff said he thought Blackwood looked decent. Well, he's just saying that. I thought he was okay, but you know what? He wasn't spectacular either. If you're playing for the number one job, you would expect a better performance. But then again, you know what? It was preseason, and he had teammates in front of him that kind of played a little bit uninspired, so to speak. But anyway. Well, this is going to be a short Woo report. Just want to say hello, chiming in, dropping the podcast at midnight. We're ramping it up. Just remember, October 13th, I'll be down at Chickies and Pete's, 1526 Packer Avenue, South Philly, for the Devils season opener against Philadelphia Flyers at the Wells Fargo Center for Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. And Saturday, October 15th, American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center, next to Championship Plaza, for our wonderful home opener, our new official home bar of the Let's Go Devils podcast at American Whiskey. Again, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center, next to Championship Plaza. Hope to see you there. We'll bring on the beef. We'll have our beefalytics. We're going to have some surprise guests coming up on the podcast next week. The season's on, and the Devils play the Boston Bruins tomorrow for some preseason action in Boston. Thank you, folks. Thank you for listening, watching, the downloads. We really appreciate it, which is what makes us the number one commented Devils podcast in the history of New Jersey Devils podcasts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Till next time, this is the Woo Report. Let's go Devils.